Welcome to the special edition of Daily World News Bites, the Calcoff Ajit Chak Show.
Okay, cut.
We have
Cut. Let's try to speak more loudly. Okay. Action.
Welcome to the special edition of the Calcoff Ajit Chak Show. We're going to discuss a major crisis that's developing in the Middle East. It seems that Iran finally has a missile capable of carrying a nuclear warhead, and this missile is going to be a ICBM, which is an intercontinental ballistic missile. Now, why is this so important? This is so important because in the 1980s, there was a movie which said that one day the Middle East will develop a missile capable of carrying a nuclear warhead, and that a doctor living in France in the 17th century actually predicted a nuclear attack on New York. Now, how far will this prediction go? We can't say. The fact is that Iran has, under the guise of running a space program, managed to create a nuclear program. And I thought that your former president, Mr. Obama, was taking care of this guy. So, what do you have to say about Obama's role in this? And B, what do you have to say about Iran's nuclear program? And C, what do you have to say about the prediction that Nostradamus made almost 400 years ago, where he predicted that the Middle East will have a nuclear weapons capable of taking out New York?
Well, let's address Obama first. The world doesn't know what is in the Iran agreement. It's still classified. So nobody knows. Unless somebody leaks it, it remains classified. Therefore, we can't comment on what's in it. Now, I was one of the people who was against the agreement because, as I had written an article exposing how Obama outright lied to the world when he tried to sell the agreement, which was eventually passed. Now, let me give you a couple of examples of how he lied real quickly. He said that there were snap inspections. There's no snap inspections. A snap inspection, as you know, means UN weapons inspectors can show up, demand to see something, and you have to comply. No. With Iran, you have to give them notice, okay? And then if they don't agree to those inspections, then it goes before the UN. It gets debated for weeks, and that gives them time to do whatever. The nuclear warhead miniaturization tests, which were done, there's no question they carried them out, were off limits, okay? So Iran has the means to make a nuclear weapon anytime it wants to. And this is the reason why Israel was against this agreement, because Israel believes that you take out the ability to make nukes, period. That means you destroy the centrifuges. Now, another area where Obama lied is he said that the number of centrifuges would be reduced. Technically, yes, if you're a weasel-worded lawyer. What he didn't say is that they would be replaced by fewer centrifuges who are more efficient, therefore they don't need as many. That's an important caveat. If I'm going to reduce your Air Force that's propeller-driven airplanes and I replace them with jet fighters, and I don't need as many planes, I've got jet fighters, that's a game changer. And you are absolutely right that Iran has used its so-called space program as a cover to develop a intercontinental ballistic missile. And, you know, to show you how they work is you have the rocket going up, the Earth spins under it. So depending on how the trajectory is, the Earth will bring the target to you, and then you just let it fall back down on the target. You don't have to have this state-of-the-art gyroscope that has to have pinpoint precision accuracy. The Russians for years, and even today, their missiles are not as accurate as American missiles. But Russia compensates for it by having a more powerful warhead. What's going on now are three basic things. One is Netanyahu's going to meet with Trump. He is proposing changes to the Iran nuclear agreement. Iran is saying there'll be no changes, take it or leave it. Now, Trump has issued sanctions against Iran for the previous missile launch, and both sides are trying to, act tough and say, no, you can't do this, no, you can't do that. Iran has to defend its thing, otherwise it could lose face at home. There's an election coming up. Trump has to defend what he thinks is right. Both sides cannot be right on this. One side's going to have to blink. This is now another test. It's actually a test which was canceled a few weeks ago There were satellite images, I saw them, of this rocket on the launch pad. It was canceled at the last minute, then they finally fired it off. Iran is absolutely daring Trump to try to stop them. Iran launched missiles with impunity under Obama. Obama would do nothing. Now they're trying to see if Trump is going to be all talk. So politically, it's dicey for both countries if they don't find common ground. And we're essentially heading back to square one, and people want to see what's in that Iran agreement. There's a movement now to try to declassify it now that the Republicans are in charge.
Okay, and this thing about Nostradamus?
Well, I don't believe in Nostradamus. I've read his stuff, and I think it can be interpreted different ways. I know what you're talking about, like it's impressive if he says Hitler versus Hitler and so on. But I'm not familiar with the specific quatrain you're referring to. It's just that when I looked at Nostradamus stuff, this is again my own opinion, I was never impressed with it. I don't believe in the paranormal. I think that if a paranormal exists, it is really the normal. Science is never going to know everything. And I believe in cause and effect, and that if there is stuff out there that has not been discovered, which is always going to be the case, it's part of normal, not some reality that exists independent of another one. It's all one big reality. It's just a question of how much we can discover, and we'll never discover everything. We're limited, you know, as every living thing is. You know, dogs only see black and white. We see color, you know, but yet our noses will never be as good as a dog's. So that's my own personal view.
Thank you.
Thank you.